These people were slain by blades, not voidwoken. More slaughter. Killed by voidwoken, who were killed in turn themselves.
The spirit of a dwarf woman stares despondently at her body and those of her loved ones.
A word of the wise, friend. Never help a sorcerer. They'll only bring death in their wake. No, not me. It was my bloody neighbours. Soft darts and softer wits, the lot of them. I did the right thing. Let the Magisters know what was going on. But when they came for him, he conjured up all these monsters. The Magisters were too busy helping themselves to save me and my own. Murdering sorcerer filth. You're the same as the one who did this. Dragging monsters into our homes and taking none of the responsibility. Get away from me.
The stench of dead voidwoken assails you. The thought occurs, sorcerers caused this.
Source can be used for good or ill. That's what the Magisters need to learn.
Source is like life, a twin of death. The sooner the Magisters accept this, the better.
I'll give you fair warning, stranger. Turn around and get out of here unless you want to end up like this treacherous filth.
He throws a kick into the ribs of a nearby corpse.
What they did deserved a lot worse than what they got. This lot were sorcerer sympathizers. Good Magisters died thanks to the one they were hiding.
He gestures around at the voidwoken wrought destruction in the area.
They forced our hand. We've got to do whatever's necessary to hold the rot at bay.
Smart move. Smarter than this lot anyway.
Now get out of my face.
An executioner's blade hovers inches above a young woman's throat. The nearby Magister drones a prayer with all the passion of a silent monk's empty gaze.
The Divine does not absolve a traitor of his grace. You've tended not to the seed the Seven have planted. Without faith, it cannot flourish. Sorcerer's been wandering through the Black Pits, infecting the place with voidwoken. And these murderers, these traitors, sheltered him, clothed him, fed him.
He nods to a bloody corpse in Magister's garb lying in the doorway.
That's the welcome they offer the law-abiding Magisters that came to keep the people safe. Ain't that right, woman?
The young woman squeezes her eyes shut in terror, but says nothing. The executioner raises his blade.
There's no escape from justice.
Magister pigs.
Prepare yourself.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Nothing wrong.
Dear Lucian, save us from this hell!
Can you untie me? Please. Thank you.
Her tear-stained cheeks quiver as she surveys the blood-spattered floorboards.
It's like a bad nightmare. Except you never wake up.
Help!
Why, thanks, stranger. But please, don't go. Not yet.
He raises his lifeless face, then lowers it again to contemplate the splintered, bloody boards. The bereaved father weeps uncontrollably. The grieving mother manages a thin smile, even as tears stream down her ruddy face.
Thank you, stranger.
She blinks out more tears, then rubs them away with the back of her hand and puts on the bravest of faces.
To lose a child. It's a mother's worst fear. I never imagined.
She considers you for a moment, then releases a heart-rending sigh.
It's true, you know, what the Magisters said. My brother's boy, Gideon, he's got source in him. Now that his folks are gone, we've all he's got. We thought we could keep him safe. He's not got a spot of malice. He can't help who he is. But when the Magisters came snooping, he panicked. We all did.
She glances at the Magister corpse and shivers. Another tear drips down her cheek.
Shouldn't have let that Hanag woman near Gid. She said she could teach him, but that's when all the trouble started.
Her mouth falls open, but she does not respond. Instead, she shakes and sobs.
As soon as the Magister fell, Gid knew what he'd done. He didn't even struggle when they dragged him away. Gods know where they took him. I've already lost more than I can bear today. I pray to the Seven I haven't lost him too. You will? Oh, bless you. Bless you.
She ekes out another thin smile.
Make sure he's safe. And if you can, bring him back to me.
Don't hurt me. Like I told them Magisters, the sorcerer ain't here. He's holed up in that Crossley house yonder.
The colour drains from her face.
Well, I didn't mean... Obviously, look, serves him right for sheltering sorcerers. Magisters told me to stand out front till they caught the sorcerer, and I don't want to upset them when they're on the warpath.
She closes her eyes and begins to whisper.
Everything's going to be all right. 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 Everything's going to be all right.
They don't pay me to talk. Move along, before you find out what they do pay me for.
sorcerer. No harm will come to you.
He turns towards you. Then he breathes deeply through his nose, his tongue extended, as if he were tasting the air.
Since when does Raven hire mercenaries? The sorcerer is trapped in the cellar beneath the house. He's dropped one Magister, but he won't drop another. We don't need you, Merc. These papers say you're an Inquisitor. You don't look like an Inquisitor. You don't smell like an Inquisitor. Fine. The job's all yours. Of course, first you'll have to put the fire out, at least so's you can reach the cellar hatch. Stand back, lads. The Merc here is going to show us how it's done. She's going to bring the sorcerer out unarmed. Because between you and me, if he comes out here armed, we'll kill him on the spot.
The thought occurs. The Magisters have strayed from the path of Lucian.
Were they ever on it?
Wolves in sheep's clothing. That's all these Magisters are. We've seen it proven time and again.
The man brandishes a sword, ready to fight. A curious weapon, simple but weighty. It seems out of place in the hands of a simple worker, if that's what he is. You have your doubts, for the sword exudes an evil power.
Back, Magister, or I'll cut your guts for ribbons like I did the last fella. My sword? Let me tell you something. I fought in the Great War. I took this weapon from a Black Ring scout I killed with my own bare hands. Then I came home to work, and work I did. And what was my reward? This is my reward. My house burned down, my neighbors killed, and by Magisters, one of whom I killed. And you would take my sword.
He gives you a long look. Then, with a flourish, he spins the sword towards you, hilt first. It's a simple weapon, weighty, well-made, and well-maintained. It's clean, but it feels tainted. He nods. You turn away.
Ha! Did you fail, Merc? I'll be the judge of that, Merc. You'll have to do better than that, Merc. I'll need proof. I've had enough of you, Merc. Hey, lads! Get him!
sorry, Dad. This was my father's house.
He sighs.
Well, there's nothing left for me here.
If he were the crying type, he'd shed a tear, but that doesn't seem to be his way. You leave him to it.
This